Hi! Welcome to this part of my solo tutorial where I run a pre-generated module using the Quick and Classic role-playing game and the Solo Adventuring Toolkit. If you haven't seen the other parts of this solo tutorial, please check out the playlist in the description below. As the adventurers continued their journey east, they encounter a locked door. It has two keyholes and cannot be opened unless you use two special keys. The adventurers only have one key, that they found on the bottom of the pond inside the fluorescent cave. But they need the other key, so now they have to backtrack. They manage to, once again, move safely across the cavern with unstable floor, and they take a bend towards the south. They arrive to what seems to be an underground temple. The entire chamber is illuminated by a sinister red glow. A mummified corpse dressed in ceremonial clothes is standing there and attacks them on sight. It shoots out a yellow beam from the palm of its hand. If you have watched the other parts of this solo tutorial, you know that I am reading a paragraph at a time. I am not reading ahead, I am reading little by little, not moving forward with each paragraph until I decide to take some action, some decision, based on the information presented. And in this case, the weakness of this mummy is immediately revealed. It is quite weak against fire. So I decided that in order to give this enemy a fair advantage, it is going to get a free attack from afar. And after that, I am going to use the ashtray stable contained in the Solo Adventuring Toolkit. So this strange, undead, mummified priest shoots out a yellow beam against the party. Ardas the Crusader chanted a word of power, but it was not strong enough to deflect this beam. They got wounded. The adventurers closed in on the undead fiend and attempted to attack him at the same time, but they all suffered terrible claw attacks from this nefarious enemy who moved quite fast. The battle continued until they managed to bring down this creature through steel and fire. They decided to search the altar, finding the other key needed to open the door. They also found a shriveled heart, and I read in the adventure that this heart would have actually destroyed this mummy immediately. So it was an error on my part. That is, it would have been a more tactical choice to send a couple of adventurers, or just one of them perhaps, to search the altar while the rest distracted this mummified priest. And if they found the heart by making a successful stealth action, they would have managed to destroy the fiend immediately. This reminded me of an adventure in that computer game, Inquisitor. There is a similar situation. There is a part where there is this undead foe. It seems impossible to defeat, but there is a heart hidden somewhere. I wonder if the author, if David, took inspiration from that. Who knows? So now the adventurers, because they had an advantage that I knew about this mummy's weakness against fire, I decided to make the ashtray roll as if it was a very challenging sight. You know, in the Solo Adventuring Toolkit, those of you that have used the toolkit, you are aware that the tables are divided by difficulty. So in order to have a fair encounter, I decided to set this at the highest difficulty. I made a roll, and the party of adventurers lost a lot of time searching the altar, more time than needed. So one of the torches went out, and I decided to light another one. The party is running out of torches. I still have lanterns, but the torches are quite useful against enemies that have a weakness towards fire, so that is not good. When it comes to making additional rolls related to the ashtray stable, there weren't any further difficulties, so I took that chance to heal the party a bit. I used a couple of spells to heal the wounds of some of the more fragile members, and I decided to continue south. Let's see what the party of adventurers encounter there. So let me give you some thoughts before I wrap up this video. I think it was quite clever that the heart was hidden in the altar. Like I said, I don't know if David took inspiration from the Inquisitor PC role-playing game, but that just goes to show how it's important to think tactically about each encounter. I just went and brute forced the encounter, fighting with the Crusader and his spell and using the torches attacking the enemy with the Dark Elf, the Barbarian, and the Crusader. And if I had thought about sending, like I said, 1 or 2 adventurers to search the altar, maybe they would have found the heart and the encounter would have ended without suffering too many wounds. And this part of the tutorial also serves as an example on how to handle these situations when you are knowledgeable about the weakness of the enemy. You could add some advantages to the enemy, like I did, giving him that free attack at the start. In the case of more granular role-playing games, where you have different bonuses, abilities, and powers, because the quick and classic role-playing game is quite simple. Each character, each enemy only has 2 stats, the luck and ability. That is without counting the bonuses of weapons and such, but they are quite simple, so you cannot add too many advantages and bonuses based on that. So I would recommend that instead you give some tactical benefits to the enemy, and that you use the as-trace table. Depending on how much you know about the weakness of the enemy, maybe you want to handle that role as a normal role, or raising the difficulty, just like I did. Well, thank you for watching this part of the tutorial. I think we are nearing the end of this adventure, so I hope the adventurers will survive. You never know. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.